Well, hello everyone. Here we are. We've arrived again at a beautiful day and time to practice some yoga together. So let's gather ourselves onto the mat and we'll settle in to a seated position, but starting in hero's pose. So use a block, maybe on its second highest setting. That's what I suggest. Keep things really nice and accessible. The knees point forward. If you need more height, you can stack two blocks on their lowest setting and then put your blanket on top. You can add your bolster, do what you need to do. Just make sure that you can feel comfortable here, and your sit bones, they almost kind of drop off the back a little bit in a way. And so you can basically, if you have your sit bones straight down into the block or sliding forward, you're going to get that tilt happening, and you don't want that posterior tilt happening. We want to find a neutral place to sit here. So just once you're settled in, double check your hands around your hips and make sure that your hips, your pelvis feel neutral. So it should feel like your sit bones are just facing down to the ground, and it's like they could drop down, but they're not. And that will help create also some flatness across the sacral bone and the back of the hips. So really just check into that place, and we'll bring our hands around our hips, close down through the eyes, and really subtly just start to pull the abdomen back. So the space between your pubic bone and your belly button, think of that whole line just gently pulling inwards. And these are tiny little movements. It's not like this fast jerking flex movement. We are subtly gathering threads and pulling them a bit closer to the midline. It's almost like you're knitting things together from the inside out. So observe the subtleties there. Notice the sense of your hips feeling a little heavier even. Now we'll keep this beautiful action and support from the pelvis and the beautiful support and lengthening we have in the spine and in the hips. Slide your hands from your hips to behind your back. Grab onto opposite wrists, forearms, or opposite elbows. You're tall on a breath in. On the breath out, just take a nice easy hinge to the right. So just a little bit of a hinge with the upper body. Let your left sit bone feel heavier so that you notice some opening around the outer left hip. You could look down to the floor over to the right and look up to the ceiling. Look back down and up. One more time, look down and look up. Neutral through the head and come back up. Neutral spine. Maybe switch the grip of your arms so you've got a different arm either on top or you're grabbing the opposite wrist or whatever it may be, depending on what you're doing. On your next exhale, we'll take that lovely hinge to the left. So left ear to left shoulder, upper body takes a gentle hinge. Not a big movement. Notice your right hip get a little heavier. For me, my right side is tighter, so it's a little bit more effort to convince my right hip to soften here. So just notice what's happening for you. Could look down to the ground, over to the left. And then we'll look up to the ceiling. Look down, exhale. Look up, inhale. One more time down. And up. Neutral with the gaze. And come back up to center. Release through your hands. Palms to the thighs, complete breath in. As we breathe out, just slide your chest forward, hands to the mat beside you, hips off the block so you can lower it down a setting. Whatever that means to you. Maybe you're removing the blanket, see what's up, but there's more space in your hips. Interlace the fingers, send the palms up to the ceiling, lengthen your arms. Draw your navel inward, your shoulders down. And notice what's happening in the pelvis. Hinge to the right, reach the fingers to the right. We're not collapsing the chest, so your chest still faces forward. Center, breath in. To the left, breath out. Anchor your right sit bone down deeply. Feel the opening through the ribs. And center. To the right. Exhale. Hang out, and we're stretching away as we settle in. So our hips root down as we reach through the hands. Center. And to the left. Exhale. Root down to rise and reach through the palms. Center. To the right. So we're working with the idea of pendiculation here. So we're stretching out of ourselves. Back to center. And left. Hips anchor down, palms reach away. Center. And right. Yes, we're almost there. Center. And left. Fabulous. Center. Release the right hand down to the ground, left hand reaches over. So maybe your right elbow bends a bit, maybe not, but the chest does not collapse forward. Anchor your left hip or left side of your hips down. And center, reach up, both hands. Left side, left hand comes down, exhale, right hand reaches over to the left, exhaling as you root the right sit bone a little deeper. Center, breath in. I'm getting all kinds of cracks here, and let's exhale, hands to heart center. And then hands down by the sides to gently shift your hips off of the block. Tuck your toes and slide yourself into Malasana. If your block is on its lowest setting, then just let your hips sit on there. Of course, if you need the block higher, then please utilize that support. So we want to be able to have our sit bones touching the block so that we can get tall in the spine. So we're really working some space in the hips here. You can come into this kind of kung fu position with making a fist with the right hand and keeping the left palm open to press the elbows into the knees. When things start to open up a bit, you could use both fists just to create more space. But there's no pressure, right? While we're doing this, we don't want to feel pain in our knees or anywhere for that matter. We want to tap into the idea of being able to stretch out of ourselves. So as you feel your hips drop, think of your crown reaching up Your palms or your fists pressing together help you stay long in the spine. Breathe in, breathe out. Look to the right. Notice that movement trickle down your entire spine. Come back to center. And look to the left. Feel that trickle down your entire spine. Center. Right. Center. Left. Remember to breathe. One more time. Center. Right. Center. Left. Center. Release. So let your arms release down. Shift your hips, maybe not off of the block actually. You may keep your hips on the block. We're bringing the soles of the feet together now. Knees are open wide. So if it's available for you to sit on the ground without your block, then go for it. But if not, stay on the block. It's already there. So just make sure you feel good here. Notice the pelvis. It is neutral. I know it's hard to grab your hips in this position, but you can still tell if you're like leaning back and rounding, or if you're able to get relatively tall here. Let's hang on to the ankles and pull the chest forward and pull the elbows back. Now keep that and bounce your knees. Close your eyes and just keep with that lovely bounce. So keep the bounce gentle. We are aiming to discover a sensation of lightness here. So we also want to find the rooting down of the hips so we can rise up through the crown. So find those spaces in between. And come into stillness with the legs. Full breath in, you're tall. Full breath out. Keep the chest bright. Fingertips can reach forward, so keep looking forward. And come into a gentle hinge here. Now, you could also have your fingers on the mat behind you. This is really helpful, especially if you find your hips super tight today. Then use the hands behind and just see if that helps you stay open in your hip flexors a little bit more. You can press the pinky toe side of your feet together to help draw the outer thighs toward the ground. Breathe in and breathe out. Notice the space you have in your lower back here, and draw your navel inward. Breath in and out. Maybe the fingers can inch a teeny tiny bit further forward, and if your hands are behind you, maybe the fingers can inch a teeny tiny bit closer toward you. Another breath in. Are you active through the legs? And breath out. Nice and easy. Come all the way back to a seat. Close your legs in together. Give the legs a little shake. Fabulous. Shift into tabletop pose. Set your block aside if you were using it. Of course, you could have your blanket under your knees. I'm definitely using a blanket today. Full breath in here in your table pose. And then as we breathe out, just bring the elbows down on the mat underneath the shoulders. Make sure that you have the elbows underneath the shoulders, so grab on opposite triceps. Make sure your distance is correct. Palms are down. Round the spine as you exhale. So it's like cat pose. Look up to your belly button. Then inhale into a cow pose here. So let your belly dip down as your heart pulls forward. Think of lifting your hips to the ceiling, your sit bones rather. And then exhale, round. Good. Inhale, find your cow pose. Good. Now hold this cow pose position. Your fingers are gripped into the mat. Complete breath in. Complete breath out. Think of pulling your heart just a teeny tiny bit further forward. So you're creating this sense of traction through the spine, through the waistline. Now hold that and start to draw your pubic bone in toward your face and then round the spine. So the movement starts from the hips. Hold here. Press into your elbows and really create space between the shoulder blades. Then inhale, think of pulling your elbows back. Find that spinal traction. Pull your chest forward. Let your hips naturally shift their position. Sit bones face the ceiling. Start with the hips. Shift to draw the belly in. Anchor the sit bones to face downwards. Spine starts to round. Look at your belly. And then one more time, we'll inhale to our cow. Finding the traction with the elbows into the mat. The heart reaches forward. Good. Now from here, pull your chest forward as you float the elbows and you're down in Chaturanga Ashtanga Pranam. The hips are a little higher. You can let the hips come down. And then lift the hips up. Push yourself back up and lower the forearms down. So you're back to that cow position with elbows on the mat. Okay, so it all works mechanically and alignment wise, right? As you notice. So we're not shifting our positioning of the knees at all. The navel stays engaged. We keep the chest open and the elbows pull back. So chest forward, elbows pull back, so forearms lift, chest comes down, or knees, chest, and chin. You could let your hips come down and you'll feel your belly draw in. So it's almost like you're moving into a cat pose, just with the bottom half of your body, almost. And then you pull your hips back up, push up, elbows down, slide back. Okay, let's do it one more time. Pull your weight forward and down. So your elbows and forearms lift. You can let your hips lower a bit, but then lift the hips back up so you can push up, slide back, elbows down. I know it's a lot of work. Full breath in. Child's pose, breath out. Untuck the toes, drag your hands toward your heels, forehead to the mat. Inhale, hands forward, and shift back into table, forearms on the mat. Tuck the toes, dolphin pose, hips are up. Feet are about hip distance apart. Knees are bent, you can walk the toes in a little closer toward you. You should feel strong here. Double check your elbows aren't waving out to the sides. You're nice and solid. Lower the heels to the left, knees point to the right as you get a beautiful twist here. Center. And drop the heels to the right, point the knees to the left, twist. Center. Knees to the right, exhale. Center. Knees to the left, exhale. Center. And right. Twisting to your edge, center. Left. Center. Knees to the mat, exhale. Untuck the toes, sit back into your hero's pose. So knees are as wide as the hips. You may need your block. You may have the space to sit the hips flat down. Be where you need to. Interlace the fingers, send the palms to the ceiling, breath in. Hinge to the right, breath out. Gaze up to the ceiling. And bring yourself back to center, neutral spine, breath in. Hinge to the left, breath out. Gaze up to the ceiling. And come back to center. Hands come all the way down, Anjali Mudra, and then just relax the hands on the thighs. We'll pause here just for a few breaths. Notice the space in your hips. Now you can stay in this position, or if available, walk your hands behind you. Fingers point toward the body. Elbows we want to draw in to feel an open chest. So start to lift your chest up as you press into the palms to work straightening your arms. Lift the chest a little higher. Big opening here. Now, no pressure, but if available, maybe you can lower down onto one elbow. Those fingers will crawl to the same side foot, and then maybe the other elbow will come down. And we work on lifting the chest here. Now remember, at no point will you feel pain or discomfort because you're utilizing all the correct support to be exactly where you need to be today. And sometimes we backtrack, and that's okay. Lift the chest wherever you are. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. If your elbows were down, come up onto one hand at a time. Shift your hands to the ground beside you. Lift hips off the block or off your blanket. Lower your elbows to the mat below the shoulders. Tuck your toes. Lift the knees. Dolphin pose. Breathe in. Walk your toes closer toward you. Breathe out. Right toes reach to the ceiling. Breathe in. Right toes step down 1 inch closer to your face. Breathe out. Left toes up. Breathe in. Left toes down 1 inch closer to your face. Breathe out. Right side up. Reach. Step closer to your face. Breathe out. Left toes up. And step closer to your face. Breathe out. Breathe in. Lower the knees. Untuck the toes. Child's pose. Breath out. Head relaxes down. Arms reaching forward. Forehead on the mat. Breath in and out. Table pose, hands under shoulders. Right leg sweeps back. Round the spine as the right knee pulls in, and lunge the foot between your hands. Right hand inside right foot on the mat or on a block. Left fingers sweep forward, up to the ceiling, to the wall behind, and then again, 2 more times, big circles with the left arm, opening the chest, working into that shoulder joint. And then we'll reach the left fingers to the ceiling and pause. Look up to the ceiling. Breathe in. And breathe out. Left fingers sweep down and around to come back forward. Full inhale here. Let's exhale. Left palm stays down. Right fingers reach up. Make sure your right hip is behind your right knee. Breathe in, tuck your left toes. Breathe out, float your upper body up, keep the twist, left hand forward, right hand back. Then reach your right hand toward your left heel, left hand reaches back, right knee reaches forward. Breathe in and out. Inhale, come all the way up. Left hand down to the mat, right hand to the ceiling. Untuck left toes. Right foot steps all the way around back behind you. Left foot plants on the mat. Hips lift, reach the right fingers away. Breath in. Breath out, let the hips lower down so you can turn the knees down to table. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Left leg extends back. Breath in. You're long and strong. We bring the left knee in, round the spine, knee to chest, and step foot between the hands. Left hand walks inside left foot. We open the chest to the right, and we'll reach the right fingers forward to the ceiling, and back, and down. 3 more times, just rotating around. Work in that shoulder joint. And eventually right fingers sweep to ceiling, and we look up to the ceiling and just hold. Right fingers reach back and circle down to the ground under the right shoulder. Left fingers sweep forward and around and up to the ceiling, looking up. Tuck your right toes. Draw your navel in, upper body floats up. We're in a twist. Right hand forward, left hand back. Then left hand reaches for the right heel, and the right hand reaches back. The left knee reaches forward. Breathe in and breathe out. Come all the way up, planting both palms down inside the left foot, or you could keep the left hand up, whatever feels easier for you. Left foot's gonna step up and around back, plant it on the mat, right foot plants down, hips lift up, reach left hand forward. Breath in and out. Press your heels down. And then drop the hips so you can turn the knees down to the mat and come back into your table. Breath in and child's pose. Breath out, walk the hands forward, forehead relaxes down. Beautiful. Let's come back up, table. You'll want 2 blocks for this, so grab both your blocks. You can place them on their highest setting. We're just stepping forward so that our palms are on the blocks, and now we're standing with the legs. Feet are hip distance apart. Breathe in. Bend your right knee, breathe out. Breathe in, lengthen the right leg, and breathe out, bend the left knee. Good. Switch. Bend right knee, lengthen left, and switch. Switch. And switch. So your left knee is bent, your right leg is straight. Reach the right fingers forward to the ceiling and back and around. 2 more times. Right arm circles around and around. And let's add a few more rounds. Just get in there. Get into all that gunky stuff. Keep circling around. And then come into stillness, right hand on the block, bend right knee, lengthen left leg, sweep left hand forward, circle it around. Yes, so we're getting all into the shoulders, but of course we're also getting into the hips here as well. So work those spaces. Notice what's speaking to you in the shoulders. Good. And then let's circle left hand to the block. Lengthen both legs, gaze forward, breath in. On the breath out, right leg sweeps up and back, hip height. Then open and stack your right hip on left. Left hand stays on the block. Right fingers sweep up to the ceiling in a supported half moon. So we've really got opportunity to find all kinds of length here. So work it. Breath in, reach your right fingers to the wall ahead of you. Then breath out, right knee and right elbow squeeze to the side to almost meet one another. Maybe they do for you. Inhale, reach away. Exhale, crunch. Reach. Crunch. 2 more, reach. Find your strength here, crunch. Find your integrity, reach. And crunch. Good. Reach the right leg, but let the right hand come down to the block. Hips are neutral and right foot comes down. Ooh. Left leg sweeps back up, inhale. So now we've got left leg hip height. Open and stack left hip on right. Left fingers become light and sweep to the ceiling. So we work our half moon here. Enjoy the extra space and support that you have. Left fingers can reach to the wall ahead of you, or overhead, I guess. Exhale, bend left knee, left elbow to meet. Ish. Lengthen, inhale. Crunch. And reach. Crunch. And reach. Squeeze. You got it. And reach. 2 more. Crunch. And reach. And crunch. And reach. Left hand comes down to the block. Left hip faces the ground. Left foot steps under left hip. Flat back, breath in. And let's breathe out. Fold the upper body forward. Adjust your feet so they're a little wider than your hips. Then grab onto opposite elbows and let your belly slide between your thighs. Really reach the elbows toward the ground. Breathe in and breathe out. Press your big toes down and feel your hips lift. So you're lengthening the backs of your legs. It doesn't mean your legs are straight. It just means you're finding awareness through the backs of your legs. Let your upper body spill a little bit heavier forward. And release. Fingertips come down to the mat, flat back, gaze forward. Then place your palms back onto the blocks as you exhale. Heel toe the feet in about hip distance apart. Let's step the right foot back in a lunge. So keep the heel up high and you're in like kind of a shortened lunge. Left knee stays above left ankle. Breath in, hands are on the blocks. Pull your chest forward. Breath out, let the right leg float up. Left leg lengthens. Then step back into your lunge. Good, so you're staying kind of fierce with the upper body, really connecting through the legs. Right leg floats up, left leg lengthens. Bend back down into your lunge. Good. Then come back up, left leg lengthens, right leg lengthens, stay strong through the core, and sweep the fingers back to warrior three. Hands float down to the blocks, right toes land back in your lunge, bend left knee, and then step forward. Left toes, step back into a lunge. The heel stays high and active, right knee stays over the right ankle. Chest is drawing forward. Press into right foot, left leg lengthens, chest pulls forward, left leg is hovering. And then step back down. And come forward, reach through the left toes. Try pointing your left toes to straighten the leg and see how that feels for you. Then come back into your lunge. Good. And one more time, come back forward, left leg is long, right leg is long, straighten and sweep the fingers back, warrior three. And then slowly release, palms come down to the blocks, bend in right knee, find your lunge, and then step forward. Heel toe your feet as wide as your yoga mat with your toes pointing out. Sit your bum back and down. Come into Malasana. You can set your blocks aside. Hands can come to prayer. You're nice and tall, long in the spine. Full breath in. Full breath out. Good. Now, from your Malasana, you may want to turn to face your wall here because we will momentarily have an opportunity to go upside down. So see what you feel best with. But before we get there, we're working the space in the hips and the spine. We bring the hands to the ground and then aim to work the forearms down. It doesn't mean that they're going to touch today, but we just work the action of lowering them closer down, lifting the elbows and up. And as the elbows lower, you can then start to work lifting your hips and notice the alignment that happens here. So the hips really work the space over the shoulders. The elbows come down, the hips get up. You're gonna find more lightness. So maybe you wanna lift a leg and then come back down. And come back up, lift the hips, maybe lift another leg and come down. And just see how that feels. If it gets to a place where you start to feel really light, so we keep going back and forth, we're only here for a little bit more time. So we're just coming forward, maybe lift a little higher, and then come down. Again, maybe you're facing your wall and you can find a little bit of height this way. So the forearms come down, hips lift, and maybe you can get a little hop and bend your knees and hold in whatever position you can, right? So be in the place you need to. We've got about 30 more seconds of playtime here. And you might be here working this action because this happens before we can get the elbows all the way down, right? There's a lot of flexibility and strength happening in the hips and in the core to get this movement happening. So be kind with wherever you're at. And once you have had quite enough, come all the way down, let your hips touch into the ground. And now we're moving into half heroes. So just lengthen both legs out in front for a moment, give them a shake, and decide what's up. So check in, make sure that the back of your pelvis feels nice, and flat. You're not rounded here. Nice and flat and wide. Your belly can draw in just enough to keep you supported with a tall spine. Use a blanket if you need for support under the hips, or even if you need bent knees. We lean to the left so we can pull the right leg back in a half hero's pose. Right knee straight in front of the right hip. Sole of right foot faces ceiling. You can fit your hand between your hip and your heel. You're not sitting on your right foot. And we sit tall. We've done lots of hip opening today, so we have opportunity to, of course, stay here or explore the pose a little bit differently. If available, hands come to the mat behind you. Lean back into your hands and lift your heart. Draw your elbows together. Complete breath in. And as you breathe out, of course, stay here or lower one elbow at a time down to the ground. And you can stay here or lower the upper body all the way down. Remember, if we lay all the way down, the bent leg, so in this case the right leg, that knee and shin stay down. They don't start lifting up and staying up in the air. You keep them down, okay? So be mindful. If that starts happening, you've gone probably too far. So back yourself up so you can be in a place that's comfortable. If you are reclined and it's available, you could then bend your left knee. And if that's feeling fine, you could bring your left knee into your chest for a lovely hug. So choose wisely where you need to be in this pose, because we still have a few more cycles of breath. If the left knee was into the chest, just let the foot come down to the mat. Drag your left heel along the ground to lengthen the leg. Hands can come onto the mat. You can kind of start tucking your elbows in and on the ground to lift your upper body up. And then push your upper body all the way up. Lean gently to the left, undo the right leg. Give the legs a little shake. All right, and notice your right leg is probably a little longer than your left one right now. Mine has a good, probably ½ inch there. So let's open up the other side. So lean to the right, pull your left ankle back, and set your foundation correctly. Because of course, if the foundation isn't good, you're not going to ever get any further in the pose in a way that is safe and supportive for progress. So left knee faces forward, directly in front of your left hip. That knee and shin stay down. Of course, sit on a block or a prop if you need, and you can always have prop under your right leg as well. So staying here, or hands reach behind. And you can start to open your chest. And you can stay in this position, or of course, if available with relative ease, lower the elbows down. If available, you could lower your entire upper body down. But of course, remember, like if we're going into these deeper aspects of the pose, we're not even necessarily deeper, just different variations. We're not slamming or dropping ourselves in, we're softening in, and we're able to move slowly. If you can't move slowly into it, you don't have enough of a grasp on the foundation yet, right? Slow is smooth, smooth is fast, so you should be able to go slow and smooth. If available, the right heel drags along the ground to bend the knee. You can stay here. Remember, the left knee stays down. That knee and shin stay glued to the ground. Maybe you can grab your right knee and shin and enjoy an extra little stretch here. Breathe in and out. Wherever you're at, notice what's opening up for you. And remember, if you've gone to a place where you're in pain, you've gone too far. That's not what we're doing here. We're not trying to put ourselves in painful positions. We're exploring the feedback from our body as we shift our position. It's a somatic practice and experience. Nice and easy. If you had your right leg, just lengthen it down. Use your arms and elbows to help you slowly bring your body up. And nice and easy, lean to the right so you can undo the left leg. And give the legs a nice little shake. My legs are the same length now. Maybe yours are too. All right. Let's bend through both knees and lower down onto our backs. You'll need a block. So just send your shoulder blades flat underneath you and bring your block up between your thighs. Draw your feet to the place they need to be, right in front of your glutes. Arms down by the sides, or maybe you can even reach the fingers toward the heels. Hips lift up, breath in. Hips lower down, breath out. Hips up and down and up and down. So choices, okay? You can keep doing this up and down in your bridge pose. If you'd like to tap into your wheel pose, you can bring the hands to the mat just over the shoulders, spread the fingers, plant the palms down firmly, lift the hips, maybe roll to the crown of your head, and you can stay there. Maybe push up and lower down. Come all the way back down. Now, if you're able to push all the way up into your wheel, you can shift the block to be a bit wider because legs are naturally wider in your wheel pose. So if you did decide that you're now going to go into wheel pose a couple times, switch your block. But of course, you can go back to doing the bridge up and down. We've just got like a little bit more time here. So if you've switched the block, lift the hips, come to the crown, and maybe push yourself up and down. Maybe even a couple little push-ups, just to see what it feels like. Yeah. You're not going to go up as high as you normally will in wheel. That's not the point here. We're just working the mechanisms. And once you're done with that, remove the block. Let's keep it on the medium setting. Lift the hips, slide the block underneath the hips. Let the weight of your hips sink nice and heavy into the block. Make sure your neck feels long here. Gently draw your knees in to stack over your hips, and then just rock side to side, nice and easy on the block. And come into stillness and reach the toes to the ceiling. So lengthen your legs, supported shoulder stand. Breath is in and out of the nose, nice and easy. And let's bend the knees to draw heels to the bum, and then slowly lower the feet toward the ground. Press into your heels to lift the hips just enough to slide your block out from underneath. Now bring your block onto your belly. Lengthen out your legs one at a time. And let your arms just relax overhead. Inch your heels away from you and let your toes relax to the sides. The breath moves naturally in and out of the nose. Notice the rise and the fall of the belly. Soften the skin on your face. Notice everything softening here around the core. And observe your ability to breathe well. And now that we've softened around that midsection a little more, we can twist before relaxing even deeper into our Shavasana. So, of course, you could stay and continue breathing, but we will come back to Shavasana in a moment. So I suggest draw your legs together and then your right knee pulls in and pull the right knee over and down to the left in a twist. Of course, you could use a block to set your right knee on in order to allow the right shoulder to come down to the ground. So go to the place that feels really fantastic for you. I think using the props or the blocks is a great idea, but you do what's best for you. Maybe look to the right if your right shoulder is on the ground. And gently come all the way back to center. Switch so right leg is long and left knee comes over and down to the right in a twist. Breathing in and out here. Noticing differences between the sides. For me, this side is quite a bit tighter. So just notice what you notice. And without judgment, right? We gotta live our lives. And also, nurturing the body is an important component. So wherever you're at on your journey today, just notice that. You're on a journey. Each day is gonna look different. And nurturing the body, nurturing ourselves from the inside out, body, mind, soul, is something that requires time, practice, patience, kindness, compassion. And it's something we are all worthy of, and is in fact, I would argue, is simply a component of being human. It's a requirement of being human here on planet Earth. That is, if you'd like to tap into a sense of inner peace, or tap into a sense of being awake to yourself here and now. And yes, there are many ways to climb the mountain. It is the point, though, of seeing the journey of connecting to your inner self and expressing that authentically outwardly. Take your time. Let's slowly undo from that twist. Eventually lengthen both legs back down. Let the toes get nice and heavy. Shoulder blades are flat, palms face the ceiling. Let's close the eyes. Soften through the forehead and the cheeks. And let's utilize our meditative alternate nostril breathing. So we'll start with inhaling through the left side. So visualizing the breath coming up the left foot, all through the leg and up the torso, circling around the crown, and then down and out through the right side. Then we inhale through the sole of the right foot, bring the breath all the way up the right side of the body, around the crown, and down the left side. So we keep doing this pattern back and forth, and noticing that as we breathe in this pattern visually, we can also breathe in our alternate nostrils. So we inhale through the right and exhale through the left. Inhale through the left and exhale through the right. Carry on with the pattern, hands free, softening into the space here and now. The more you can soften into this experience, the more naturally the breath will flow in alternating nostrils as well. Fun facts about breathing is that throughout the day, approximately each hour, the dominant nostril switches. So as you go throughout your day, there will be one nostril more dominant than the other. And when you go to sleep at night, you will best fall asleep when you are in a left side dominant cycle. And in the morning, your right side will be dominant. So these are just fun things to observe, and you can tap in and cleanse these spaces by practicing the alternate nostril breathing. On your next inhale, let's reach the arms overhead and enjoy a lovely stretch here. And exhale, soften. Gently drag both heels along the ground to bend the knees into the chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Rock side to side. Eventually, roll all the way to one side or rock yourself up to a seat. Something comfortable for you. Let's bring palms to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Breathe in and out here. And let's close our practice today with the chant of Sat Nam, True You. Full inhale. Sat Nam. Breathing in. Letting go. And thank you for our practice today. Namaste. And happy new moon in Aquarius. There's some fun info in the recent newsletter that I sent out, and there will be a special otter meditation added to the group as well. So keep your eyes peeled for that. So yeah, sending you a whole lot of love, and see you again soon. Bye.